Good afternoon, Flosstube. Today is Monday the 19th of May 2025 and this is Flosstube number 40. I'm Lindsay, Cheshire Stitcher, both here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Welcome to my channel. Mostly it's about cross stitch, but I do share other crafts, usually my beading, and yes, I have got some of that for you today. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. It's lovely to see you again, and a very warm welcome if you are one of the 15 new subscribers I've had since number 38. I forgot to check on number 39. It's lovely to see you here. If you are new and you haven't done so already, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and any others of mine you might have watched or may watch, and maybe even hit that subscribe button. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I managed to say YouTube for the first time. Usually I say Jug. Right, admin bit done. On the subscriber front, I am 6 away from 700, so we will be having a giveaway when we get to 700, which may well be on the next video. Keep your fingers crossed, or anything else that you can cross if you can't cross your fingers. Like me, I can't cross my fingers. That's as best as I can do. They won't cross anymore. Right, so today I have got a couple of finishes. I have quite a few new starts. I've got some PhDs. I've got some beading. I'll tell you what my plans are. Not that they're very interesting, they never really are. And I have a little bit of haul or stash enhancement. I write haul on me notes because it's easier to write than stash enhancement. And I look down my notes and I say haul rather than stash enhancement. Tell you, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. And whilst I'm looking at my notes, my next video should be Tuesday the 3rd of June, but I'll talk about that in a bit. So we'll get going, shall we? My first finish is silver and gold. Bring it a bit closer for you, there you go. This was a Bent Creek limited edition kit that I'd had in my stash for, I have no idea. And I decided I was going to get it done. So this was the 4th start of my 25 and 25. And it's the 3rd of them to be finished. And it's the 7th finish of the year overall. I kept picking it up and doing a bit, and I got to a point of I want it finished, and it still took me days because, as I said in my last video, family were on their way to visit, so I didn't get much done that weekend, and I'd had a new start on the Friday night, which doesn't actually look like a new start now. I'll explain all. So I was busy on the Sunday and family went home on the Monday. So lots of stuff happened. So there we go. I'm just setting up my pad because I realised I'd not done that. My second finish, I literally finished this morning. So it is fresh off the frame. Again, I've been plugging away at it a little bit here and there when I could. I finished the stitching from the bit of the pin cube. I'm back to my old habits, showing you what I've stitched before I've shown you the picture, that one. So that's the first item from this stitching box that I have completed. I bought it last year. It was my one purchase at the Nimble Thimble on the Saturday of the Wrexham retreat. No, I don't want to view that. I don't want. Sorry. I had to recover a photo earlier on and I didn't come out of the photo section, so it's trying to get me to do all this other stuff. Tell you, if I had a brain it'd be dangerous. Told you that already. So yeah, my one purchase at the Nimble Thimble last year that I've been eyeing for ages. A good 18 months, 2 years. And when I went last year, it was down in price, and so I was very tempted, and I got encouraged by the friends I'd gone down there with, so I gave in and bought it. Sorry, can't itch. So, see, I've done it again. Last time you saw it, let me find my picture, it looked like that. So as you can see, I've done the final 2 blocks. I've done the bit in the middle of the flowers, which is what that thread was for, and I've done some leaves. There is an errata in the chart that I had to, or didn't have to, that I emailed Jeanette Douglas about, and she's going to put that on the website. Basically, there was no symbol for these leaves. But this little tiny single stitch on the end of the leaf did have a symbol, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to do the entire thing in that colour, or if if there'd been a printing mistake or something had been missed off the key, and it turns out it was all done in that colour. So there we go. So I now just have to get it made up, which is something I will do in the next couple of weeks, because I want it done for the Wrexham retreat. Whether or not I'm going to start another bit from it anytime soon, I don't know. I will be starting something from it, but I don't know when. Depends on when I get round to asking my partner. I have got a mark on my linen there, but that doesn't matter because it's the way it's folded. These backstitch lines are what you use to construct it. So there we go. I'm very, very pleased with how that's turned out. And that is finished number 8 for the year. So let's go on to new starts. There's been a few. I did say I was going to do Mania this year, and that would mean I would be making a new start on every Friday in May, because my birthday falls on a Friday in May, which was last Friday, the 16th. So that's what I've done. So my first one, this is the one that doesn't actually look like a new start anymore, was this. Northumberland Sampler House. I think she's North Sampler House on Etsy, which is where I bought it. And it's this band. It's a snippet kit. I just wanted to give it a go. So I bought the kit. Finally got round to starting it after my last very, very short Flosstube before family arrived. And there we go. There's nothing there. If you look closely, I know I'm showing you this really close up again. I do apologise. But if you look closely, you can see it's all frogged. Yeah, I started it on the Friday night. I took it with me on the Saturday to the Nimble Thimble for a stitching day. And I'm working away on it. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, this isn't right, because this is supposed to sit in the middle of this band. These overlocked cut are supposed to fold up. And then I realised what I'd done. On the chart, she gives you 2 alphabets. One is spaced 2 stitches apart and one is spaced 3 stitches apart, because it's designed to go around a mouse holder, and they vary a little bit in size. And I thought, well, mine's not going to go on a mouse holder. I'm just going to do mine two stitches apart. So I got everything ready. I folded my fabric because I didn't know what the margins were on the ends. So I folded it, found my centre on my chart and started going. What I didn't do, and I have emailed her and said, maybe you should put this in the instructions. Both alphabets are one above the other, I didn't take off 10 to allow for the other alphabet. So I've started it where it says in the centre of the chart you should start without, like I say, without taking the 10 off. So when I was doing the bottom of the band, I was in this overlocked area. I was so annoyed with myself because I'd loved it. I'd really, really loved it. So yeah, I was not a happy camper. So I think I'm probably going to restart that a little bit later, but I'm still classing it as a mania start. So it is one of my 25 in 25, and I forgot to look what we're up to. I think it's number 10. Bear with. Let me check in my trusty diary. I just buy a bog standard page a day diary. Yeah, this was number 10. Yeah, I just buy a bog standard day to day. As you can see, I just note what I've been doing on each day. If I've started something, what fabric I'm using and all of that kind of thing. So there we are. So that was start number 1 for Mania, which was number 11. These are actually in the order I started them, which is unusual for me. I then restarted my Haid. I did say I was going to do that as well. This is the 3rd time I've restarted it. If it goes wrong again, I am not starting it a 4th time. It will be abandoned. I've only worked on it a couple of days. I haven't got very much done because I've just been busy with life and trying to finish the pin cube, and I've had a few days where my hand's just gone, no, you're not doing that. So that's how far I got, and I forgot to check how many stitches that is. I do apologise. Again, I'm going to be working on this a little bit more now because life is a bit more settled, and today is a very odd day. I've mentioned before I normally have my grandsons on a Monday. Well, they jetted off to Florida for Disney World on Saturday. So I have a Monday at home, and it's weird. It's really, really weird being at home on a Monday. It's odd. So, oh well. But they're having a blast. They've only been there like 2 days and they're loving it. Anyway, my next Mania start was this Hillside Samplings Quaker Diamond. It shows you how long I've had this chart, because that's a proper photo on the front. Yeah. Bought it from Wine Needlecraft, much missed shop in Bakewell in Derbyshire. So this was, like I say, my 2nd Mania start, and it's number 11 of my 25 in 25. The frog decided to pay a visit. Well, oh, I do apologise. That was a bit naughty. I shouldn't have done that. I should have put them the other way around. And I forgot to say as well, that centre is all over 1. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. And as I say, the frog well, not the frog, me not paying attention. So I made a start. Here we go. And I'd started here. I'd gone all the way around here, all the way up here. And something wasn't working out right. Because I thought, oh, I'll make a start on the over 1. I'll get some of the over 1 done. Yeah. Me not checking the chart had assumed that there was 5 of these little sets of 3 on each side. No, there's 5 on that side and 6 top and bottom, so I had to undo all of this. Sounds about right for me of late, doesn't it? So I am using, not organised, it's being at home on a Monday, it's weird. I'm using 35 count Weeks Dye Works linen in linen, and for the bulk of it I am using 1005 sulky for the black, and then the yellow highlight is 4002, which is a nice variegated. And as I say, the centre, the alphabet is over 1, as is the initials and the year that go somewhere around here. I'm going to use just plain DMC for the over 1 because I think the sulk is going to be too thick. But I have loved working on this, even though I've had to frog. Oh well. Speaking of frogs, the bead shop, well, it is a proper shop now, Threader Bead in Llandudno, it's also online, they've brought out a little frog, so I'm going to have to get myself that pattern and get him made and see if I can fit him up here somewhere. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. To hopefully keep his mates away. So that's going to be something I'm going to purchase soon. So that was the second Friday, so that was the 9th of May I started that. And then on the Saturday it was Cheshire Stitchers. And you might remember in my last video I told you that I'd been to Abercan with Sally from Flossie Sews and Grows and Elaine from Ellie Welly Stitcher, and we'd got chatting and we all discovered we had a Stacey Nash animal cracker, so we all said that we would start it at Cheshire Stitchers. Is that right? No, I didn't start that. Yes, I did. Ignore me. I'm thinking I worked on that for a few days. I didn't. I started it on the Friday night, started this on the Saturday, and then went back to the Quaker Diamond on the Sunday. That's why I'm confusing myself. So my one is goose, giraffe, obviously. Couldn't not get the giraffe. So we're using a hashtag. What's a hashtag? Hashtag of Cheshire crackers. I'll put it in the box down below for you. So Sue, the one that couldn't come because she wasn't very well, she went out after, because I messaged her and said, you know, we're going to start this, have you got one? No. A couple of hours later, I've bought Clovis. So what we're planning on doing is as we finish them, we're going to swap them around. One of the other ladies that came for the first time to Cheshire Stitchers on the Saturday, she had a one, so she brought hers, and there is a picture of the four of us, sorry. There was 4 of us that started them, and I would imagine that Sally will put that in, because as you know, my iPad goes, don't be silly, you haven't got room for that. So there we go. I started him on the 10th. And that's as far as I got. Now again, I am using Weeks Dye Works linen in linen, and I am using all the called fors. There we go. So that's as far as I got. So this is the bottom of him, and that's sort of under his chin. I will be going back to this within the next few days. When I went to Nimble Thimble, Jeanette gave me a package. Now she had told me about this. I didn't know what it was, but she decided to buy me a Valentine's gift. So it was a set from Pretty Little Thread Keeps, and that was one of them, a needle minder with a giraffe. So I was like, do you know what, I've kind of got to, it's a giraffe, I've got to put a giraffe on a giraffe. So I will show you the other bits as I go through. So that's goose. And then when I got home on the Saturday from Cheshire Stitchers, there was a big Peakside envelope waiting for me. You may remember that I was lucky enough to get a place on the Heartstring Samplery Peakside retreat. And we'd been waiting and waiting and waiting for the kits to arrive. Like I say, they turned up on, it was there on the Saturday. So, and I have checked, I can do this is okay. But I do have to point out that the retreat is full and this is an exclusive. But it's still stitching. So this is what we are doing. This is called Ellen's Keepsake Box. Picture's not very good. I think it's a photocopy of a photocopy, but that's fine. So as I say, our kit was waiting for us when I got home. It's coming in a nice plastic bag. I will probably end up making my own project bag for it at some point. So I made a start on it on the Wednesday. So it's come all the week's colours that we've got for it. And you could choose if you wanted 32 count or 36 count. Well, 36 for me, isn't it? So I have made a start. We were told how to do our, you know, what size piece we needed for particular things. So like we needed an 8.5 inch square for the box top, which was the big one in the corner. And then we needed this size to make berries. And so I sat and I basted my outlines. And I came to the conclusion that a couple of millimeters difference in size won't matter too much. So this one is for one of the berries and is a couple of millimeters smaller than it should be. But let's tell you what the fabric is. It's fibre on a whim, 36 count cafe au lait. So that's the fabric. As I say, I've made a start on the box top. I will be going back to this in the next few days. I've only got a 6-inch Q snap and it was getting on my nerves and I couldn't get to it properly. So I've actually placed an order with Wool Warehouse for a small nerd hoop. Well, okay, for the 3 nerd hoops that I don't have. And a real sulky. Just to bump it up for the free postage. It was a bit silly not to. So there we go, that's the start I've made. We're using 1 thread over 2 on this. And that's how much I've gotten done so far. So when the smaller nerd arrives, I will be putting this into that smaller nerd and making some more progress on it. So that's, and then I've got my last new start was my birthday start on Friday. So I was doing this as we went up the M6 and the M55. I had a day trip to Blackpool for my birthday. Haven't been there in donkey's years. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I had posted on Instagram and sort of said I can't make my mind up what I'm going to start. And it appears on Facebook as well. And this one is the one that won. See how they run. I bought this last year. It was a market release. I also bought the finishing kit. Cost me a small fortune. but that was fine because I knew if I didn't get the finishing kit, it would never get finished. I'd stitch it and it wouldn't, nothing had happened. So I didn't start either of those. I actually started with that block. My theory was that going up the motorway, I wasn't driving, my partner was driving, that the lettering would be easier to do, and it was. But I'll tell you something, the M6 coming south is a lot bumpier than the M6 going north. Couldn't do as much coming home because the van was bouncing up and down. So, as I say, I bought this fully kitted last year, and that was the first one I decided to start. It's been fun to do. The colours are, there's a few DMCs as well, which I haven't got to hand because I've not used them as yet. So those are the colours. Aren't they fab? And that's as far as I got. There we go. So the block is pretty much half done. Yeah, I've got see how and then the top border, and then I've just got to put the bits of black in on the tape measure. So that's as far as I got with it. A lot of fun. Again, I will be going back to that in the next few days. I don't want to do all of these new starts and then just put them to one side and not do anything. That would just annoy me. Fabric is 32 count. I've no idea. It came in the kit because I bought it fully kitted and like I say, the finishing kit. And that's as far as I got with that. So there we go, that's all my new starts. There will be another couple in my next one because I've still got 2 Fridays left in May. So now we move on to, excuse me, itchy nose, my PhDs. Right, again, in no particular order. First up, we have Sunflowers Farm, which is the one I'm doing as a stitch along with Jeanette. We were working on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, but we've been so busy between the two of us lately that we're actually going to discuss on a Monday what day in the week we're going to do it, because it's just not happening at weekends. Like I say, I've been busy this weekend. Yesterday we did the big car boots. Next weekend I've got Cheshire Stitchers Day on the Saturday. The weekend after I am at the Wrexham Retreat. The weekend after that I am at the weekend I have with friends every year. This is the 19th year that we've done that. And then the weekend after that, on the 14th of June, is Cheshire Stitchers again. So weekends just aren't happening at all. So we, like I say, we've decided we're going to start discussing on a Monday, because Jeanette has appointments, I have appointments, I have things I need to do during the week, you know. I need to get my hair done because it's looking a bit, so just such a general life thing. So we'll discuss on a weekend, the day that we can. No, that's not the one. I'm just trying to find you the before picture. Come on, where are you? There we go. So last time you saw this, it looked like that. I think we've only managed to work on it 2 or 3 times in the last couple of months. Like I say, for various reasons. So, and I don't think that's the right picture. No, that's not the right picture. See? Oh, dear me. I think, nope, that's not it. Oh. Yeah, you're not looking far enough back. There we go. That is definitely the last time you saw it. Oh Oh dear me, I do apologise. I don't know. Oh, I know why I've got later pictures in it, because we tend to go, oh, how have you done? Send each other a picture. So that is definitely the last time you saw it. I'll have to delete all the other ones. And I am going to have to sew some fabric around the edges of this, because although I left enough room for, you know, the 3 inches around the edge, because I'm using the seat frame that I showed you, it's much wider, so it's frayed really badly. It's gone all the way up to the stitching, and I keep catching this, so I'm going to attach some fabric to it before we work on it this week. So that is as far as I've got with mine. This is the bottom border, this is the edge of it. That section now is pretty much done, apart from the big sunflower that goes above the head there. I've filled in the little dots here. I've done these 2 bumblebees. I've still got a pair of wings without a body, but I'll get there. So before I work on that this week, I will be sewing some fabric on the edges to make it easier to put it in the frame, the hoop. But I'm loving how it's coming out. It's looking really nice now. So I would say I'm getting on towards a quarter done. I'm using the call for DMCs, and the fabric is 30 count platinum Murano that they discontinued years ago. And I love 30 count, it's lovely. Next project sitting there waiting for me to show you, and I will get the right picture, is my Love Quilt Square. So last time you saw it, it looked like that. I can't show you a finished picture. It was a pattern I bought off Etsy, and I didn't print out a cover picture. So that's how it looked last time. I'm going to be working on this later today. It's normally a project I work on a Monday when I got the boys. And here's how it looks now. So as you can see, I'm working a bit more on the controller. When I was having the boys last week, I asked Spencer, should I do the blue or should I do the red? And it turns out it's not red, it's orange. But it looked red. It looks red on the pattern, and he's picked the red, so that's what I did. And then I've moved back to the blue. There is a lot of blue in it, so I'm probably just going to break that up a little bit and alternate. I've got lots of little doodads to do all around it. So next time around, you should be seeing this as a picture on my iPad, because I've finished it, because it's due. Don't do that. Piling everything up on the arm, and it just kind of started to, as they do. So next up is the United Kingdom flag that I'm doing for a customer of Doodlecraft. You're going to laugh at the progress on this. So that's what it looks like when it's finished. That's what it looked like last time you saw it. And here it is now. Yeah. I've done about 2.5 rows of the red, and I've started on the white. This white here, and I've filled in that white down there. I need to get my backside into gear and get stuck into it and get it finished. Then I can have the frame fade, but ABC delivery. And then we have one more project. Lizzie! She's scratching at the beading chair. Lizzie! Excuse me. Stop it! No, don't you answer me back. You've got a scratching post. Use it. I fancied working on this, so I've been doing this a little bit every day. Well, not every day. On the days I felt like it, I've been working on this a little bit. It's on 45 count linen. Pardon me, so I need magnification for it. So when I've finished my beading in the morning, some days I've worked on it, some days I haven't, because my my beading lamp is the same as this one of those ones with the magnifier in the middle and the lights all the way around. So I've been sat doing this, and I've done a fair bit, usually somewhere in the region of 50 to 60 stitches. So last time you saw it, it looked like that. I'm going to keep doing this because I am enjoying working on it that little bit every day, or not every day. So like if today was a normal Monday, I wouldn't have worked on it today. I didn't do anything on it yesterday because I was up at 4 AM and out the door by 5 because the car boot sale. So that's last time you saw it, and now looks like that. Surprising how much 40 to 50 or 50 between, well, I've done between 40 and 60 every day. A couple of days I've done a bit more than 60, but the bee skep is now complete apart from the circle in the centre. Last time I worked on it, I didn't do as much as I would normally have done. I've finished that, so I thought I've still got a bit of my silk, so I'm working down the border a bit more. I have to say, I am enjoying working on this. As I said, fabric is, that's all I can tell you, because that's all that was on it. 45 count Italian linen in ivory. And I am using a dinky dye silk, put it the right way up, which is number 113 Cobar. I just looked to see what I had that I fancied that would work, and that's what I found. That's it. And I just realised I didn't show you on that one. Where have I put them? There. No, it's not that one. It's that one. Oh, I tell you, the other brain would be dangerous. No, it's not that one. What have you done with it? Said I would show you a bit more of the ring bling, the stuff off Jeanette that was all in the packet. I'm trying to work out what I'd done with it. I don't know. Trying to strangle my little charm now. So another thing that was in the package was this, some ring bling. So here's on the threads for Goose, and I have a fabulous, look at that, a lovely little giraffe charm, and there's a bee charm on there as well. So that was another bit of the set. Tell you, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. It's just I'm a bit out of kilter with it being at home on a Monday. So now we are on the beading. So I have been working on Julia Prettle's stacking tree. Last time I spoke to you, I had finished the first 3 parts, and I had started on the 4th part. I had that base and that base done. Well, I've now finished part 4, and I also said that I would show you why this bit gets pushed up. So if I put part 3 onto part 4, see the big gap? We don't want that big gap. That's just, it doesn't look right. It's even worse on the other pieces. So we push what you do is you just push that up, and then there you go. It's a bit wonky because I'm trying to do it quickly, so it's not sitting as straight as it should do. But there we go. I haven't started part 5. I fancied a break from doing this, so I've made a start on a Christmas ornament. So next time around, there may not be any beading for you. But that is that one done. I think the next piece is most likely going to be yellow. Depends what I've got, but I'm leaning towards yellow. So now we will do stash enhancement. So I've shown you 2 pieces out of the set that Jeanette gave me. It also came with a scissor fob, again with a bee and a giraffe charm on it, and then some floss cards. Every single one has a giraffe on it. I love them. And the nice thing about Hazel's Pretty Little Thread Keeps is she puts a little sticker on the back so you can write your number on it. And then we have that one. That might be the same as the first one, actually. No, it's not. And then we have that one. I do love a giraffe. I've told you that enough times. Have we shown you that one? I think that's it. Is that it? I took them out to look at them, so they're all kind of mixed up a bit now. That's you. That's... Come on, separate. That's you. Did I show you that one? Can't remember if I've shown you that one or not. There's that one. Yeah. Yeah. So there's 2 of each of the designs, and there's 5 designs, 6 designs. Disorganised chaos. Tell you. Doesn't that throw you for a loop when you've spent 5 years looking after your grandsons on a Monday, and today I'm not there. The only time I don't go normally is on a bank holiday, and I have a Monday off to go beading, which is next week. So, as I said, last Friday was my birthday, so when I arrived on the Monday beforehand, my daughter handed me an envelope and went, "Happy birthday." So she bought me bumblebee etchings, which was on my wish list. I keep a wish list at 123 Stitch just so I can keep track. So she's bought me that. And I've looked, and everywhere in the UK seems to be out of stock of the colours for it, which is fine because I'm not in any great big rush. And then she sent me a message and went, "Have you got that one?" I'm like, "I don't know." So she bought me that one as well. Bees and sunflowers. She knows her mum well. So, yeah. Those will be started at some point. Now, as I said, the day after my last video, I was going to the Nimble Thimble for the day. Go stitching with a group of friends. So I, of course, purchased things. So in no particular order of purchase, I found that in a reduced bin. I think it was, yeah, reduced. Obviously quite old. I mean, it says 2004 on it, and I just thought that was a lovely little tree. I more than likely will not put the bow on it, and I probably won't put the cardinal on it either, to be fair. But it came fully kitted. So I loved it. I thought that was a lovely thing. I got myself honeybee quilt from Primrose Cottage. I have got some of the other bee themed from Primrose Cottage. Pretty sure I've got that one. I think Jeanette stitched that and then passed it on to me. I don't, yeah, I got that in the reduced thing, a book of little baskets, and those are the ones that are in it. I like this one more than anyone, but again, I think it was in the reduced clearance kind of. She has a couple of things where she puts stuff that she wants to get rid of that have been hanging around a while. Whilst I was there, I took in Stretch, who is a TW Dragon. You can't get him anymore because she pulled them all, but he was a freebie. I stitched him donkeys years ago, and I took it with me to be framed so that it's ready for me to pick up. When I'm at the Wrexham retreat, I can go and pick it up. So I've got a 7-inch hoop. This was actually free because when they arrived to her, they're cracked here. There was a whole pile of them. So she'd put them in the thing and said just take them because the company had already replaced them. And that conversation came around because I bought a little 4-inch hoop. I couldn't find my 4-inch hoop, so when I saw these, I grabbed it for Elizabeth Lincoln. And when I went up to pay for me goodies, Chris said, "Does it have to be that specific size?" I went, "Well, yeah, because I need to use it for project." And she said, "Oh, it's just that I've got some of the 7-inch ones over there that are for free because they're cracked." So I thought, oh, okay, then I'll get one of them as well. I got myself that one. A Scarlet House, Home is Where My Samplers Are. I do stitch samplers, just not very often these days. And I'm not particularly keen on ones with big houses in them like that, but never mind. I will be stitching it in DMC. I will not be using the Overa Soir. Mostly because I don't know where to get them and I think they're expensive. So DMC is good enough for me. So I'm quite looking forward to doing that one. I also picked up Stitcher's Alphabet. Also by the Scarlet House. This one wants Weeks Classic Colour Works, but it does give you DMC conversions, so it might be a case of if I got it, I'll use it. If not, I'll pull the DMC equivalent and have a look and see what I've got in Weeks Classics Gasts that I can sub. And I also picked up Home is Where the Fabric and Floss Are by New York Dreamer. Whether I will ever be able to make it into a tray, I don't know, but it probably isn't that difficult. And I'm sure if I Google it, I can find instructions online on how to do that. There we go. Again, mostly calls for weeks. Oh no. 1, 2. There's 3 weeks in it. The rest is DMC. Okay. And then I picked up Primrose Cottage. I'll take it out the back because you can see it all on the back. And this came with the pins. That's what Chris does if it needs pins or if it only needs a bit of silk. I do apologise if you can hear that beeping. That's the washer just finished. It'll beep again in a second. So yeah, that's the entire design. I just loved that. I thought that was lovely and simple, and what I will probably end up doing is pulling out whatever greens I've got of over-dyeds that I can just go, okay, that's enough for a tree. I mean, it uses cottage garden threads and a DMC. Well, I've only got one cottage garden and it's red. So yeah, I'll just pull out whatever greens I've got for that one. And then my last one from Nimble Thimble, again a Primrose Cottage, Stitchers Trio. I'm waiting for, is it Primrose Cottage or Hands On Design? The one she's just released a whole load of stitchy themed charts. There you go, washer's beeping again. I do apologise if you can hear that. Probably do it another couple of times yet. I wanted it for that more than anything. So that's that one. And then I have one last piece of stash enhancement. Now, normally, I don't bother with this. This is from Agnes Little Minders on Etsy. She hand makes needle minders. And I normally don't bother. I'd seen the notification that the collection was going live on the Saturday night, the 3rd of May. Well, obviously we had family visiting. And I sort of remembered about, I was looking at Facebook and it came up, you know, the collection is going to live soon. I thought, oh, okay, I'll try and remember to go back and have a look. I don't normally bother, but... And it was about 9:30, 10:15 when I remembered and went and had a look, not expecting to see anything there. And by this point, I'd been paid for the commission. I don't tend to go for these because they're expensive. They're handmade, yes, they are handmade, but A, they're expensive, and B, 9 times out of 10, you can't get one because some people are so much faster than you, or PayPal decides it's going to do something and it won't work. Well, I managed to get one. So you get a lovely, lovely card, lovely thank you card. And normally I wouldn't get stuff like this. I wouldn't keep stuff like that, but it's a dragon, so I may well do. And that reminds me about something else. So it comes in a little box, beautifully wrapped in paper. I've got, it took me a while to realise that this is actually a sheet of stickers. So I've got some little stickers that I will be putting in my diary. And then we have the needle binder itself. Now I haven't, that's the back. That's the bit that goes on your back. I haven't taken that off as yet. As you can see. I thought, oh, I'll keep it all wrapped up and safe. But this is the one I got. Look at that. Hexes. Kinda had to. Absolutely adore it. They are so well made. They are lovely. They are lovely, lovely minders. I can't normally justify the cost, but I had just been paid for the commission piece. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to splash out. That's it. Now, just plans. I'll tell you about, I should have done my plans before I did my haul. I do apologise about that. I am going to carry on with whatever. I've got 2 more projects to start this month. I've got a thought rolling around my head to maybe take a leaf out of Stuart's in Stitches book and do a temperature stitch along, well, not a stitch along, but a temperature thing, whereas you look at the high temperature and whatever project you've assigned to that number. So if it's like it's 23 degrees, you would work on whatever project number 3 is. He does 100 stitches and then rotates them out after 10 airings, visits, callings, however you want to refer to it. So I'm thinking I might do that on starting 1st of June. Sometimes, like I say, on Monday, I would have to do 2 projects on a Tuesday because I just do not have time on a Monday, and by the time I get home I'm usually worn out. But I've watched another, well, not I've, but I've watched, this morning I watched Lynn the Lancashire Stitcher, and she was saying about the not very nice comment she had a while ago on one of her Flosstubes. And because of that, she is going to start a dragon project. She's calling it #Dragon Sal for Mum. Well, with Lynn, it's never a stitch along, it's always a start along. She starts it and then finishes it 6-7 years later in some cases. She's not very good at keeping up with stitch alongs, and I know where she's coming from because I'm not very good at keeping up with stitch alongs like that. Like the one with Jeanette, that's fine because it's a very loose flowing, if we can't do it, we can't do it kind of a stitch along. So I will be taking part in that. I haven't decided if I'm going to start another dragon because I have several. I have a few artisy ones. They did a pack of dragons on flowers, and there was a sunflower, kind of had to. So I might start that, or I might pull out my big dragon that is PhD. But other than that, I'm just going to carry on with whatever. Like I say, I've got 2 more things to start. Keep working on my projects. See what else I can get finished. Get some more done on that Union flag so I can have the frame back. Otherwise, that's it. So next video, as I said, should be the 3rd of June. Should have been the 1st of June, but I'm still at the Wrexham retreat that day. And I will be back to having the boys on the Monday. They will be home by then, so I will have the Monday with the boys. So it'll be the 3rd of June. As I go on the Friday to Wrexham, I come home on the Sunday, probably early evening, because the stitching room's open till 5 on the Sunday, and Wrexham's only an hour away. Well, it's not even an hour away. But my partner is going on one of his fishing trips on the Sunday morning, so I will come home and I will have peace and quiet for the next 4 days, possibly 5, because they were talking about, he was going to come back on the Thursday. They're talking about coming home on the Friday, and I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. Just be aware that I go off again on the Friday till the following Monday. Oh. So, I don't know. But either way, the 3rd of June, I will have peace and quiet. That's not the right way of putting it. I will have complete control of the remote. I won't have him snoring at bedtime and then telling me that I'm snoring and waking him up when I can't get to sleep because he's snoring. You know, all of that kind of stuff. I can just do what I like. I won't have him moaning about the cats jumping in the window and jumping over him and loads of stuff. So I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. The being on my own for a little bit. Right, I've waffled on enough. We are nearly at an hour, which is very unusual for me. We're normally about 40 minutes. So I will love you and leave you. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the 3rd of June. Bye.